How are
Hi.
you doing today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I went to Santa Cruz this weekend, and
Very
I'm back.
nice.
And so, did you have a good weekend?
I did. I
Okay.
did. Today was a little crazy. I had 3 IAs out, so very short-staffed, and we
Yes.
made it through the day.
Any behaviors that were overwhelming, or
No.
everyone did a good job?
They were really nice.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
it was
good.
great. Yes.
Well, we haven't gone over the kids since the beginning of the year in terms of your demographics and all the kids that you've taken a look at and where you see they came from, where they were, and how they've ended up.
Right.
So, do you have any feelings about how they did
I do.
overall?
I do. So, as you know, I teach 2nd through 5th, and all the kids have autism. And one of my English language learners who had one word at the beginning of the year, which was no, and crying, that was all the verbal communication he has, is speaking in full sentences, which is awesome. And I have another student who spoke really quickly, and his articulation is very poor, and he's been a lot easier to understand as well. So a lot of the modifications that we're using and co-teaching with speech teacher has really helped, and it's been wonderful to see their progress. I have, let's see, my 2nd grader, he is on grade level. He's finished the whole Houghton Mifflin language book, and he's almost finished the math. So writing is really his biggest issue right now, and that's about where we are, and that's a huge struggle.
Okay.
So we have a lot of behaviors lately, which is a bummer.
In terms of your expectations for next year for him, since he's at grade level, what are you thinking about doing with him next year?
He has inclusion for language arts in the mornings. That is a half-time class because they have early late. So he's only in the class with
That's
about
2nd
15
grade.
students. With his sensitivity to noise in a class of 32, I'm not sure he's going to be able to handle it.
Okay.
That would be my hope, would be inclusion for him, either in math or language arts or both, if he can handle the noise.
Okay. Well, you have to test it out.
Exactly.
See
Baby
how it
steps.
goes.
Yep. We finished up with testing, and everybody did really well, so that was good. We did the CAPA on 8 students, the CST for 1 student, CMA for 1 student, so that was nice to finish up.
Did you get it all done yourself, or did you have some people do the CST, some people do the CMA, and
I did all of the
CAPA?
CAPA, so 8 students on CAPA, and I did the CMA, and 1 person helped me out, the resource aide helped me out with the CST.
Yeah, that's always real tricky for us to be able to do all the different levels of testing.
Yes.
And I know it takes longer.
Yes, I was almost out of the class
longer.
for almost 2 weeks, so I was not teaching for those 2 weeks. Yep.
That happens.
So that was tough. But I would say everybody's on track. My 5th grader, who is behaviorally my hardest student, is going off into middle school. So we've had that meeting, and we've put a lot of things in place for him, and I'm hoping that's as smooth as can be.
Right.
So that's probably my biggest worry right now.
Okay. Your binders are very, very thorough. Hats off to you. You do a fabulous job with
Thank
that.
you.
So I'm pretty sure whoever gets that student will have a lot to go from.
Hopefully, yes. So yeah, that's where we are, I think, with everybody. It's been a really good year, a growing year for the students, a growing year for me. To teach 4 grades was difficult.
Right.
So.
The other thing that we've discussed a lot that I think is really important for us to take a look at too is the time management of the aides.
Yes.
To be able to manage your aides, manage the kids, and manage integrating kids into the classroom setting, the gen ed setting, is very, very tricky. You've done a wonderful job.
Thanks.
Do you want to talk a little bit about how you started and how you went through that and how you got to where you are, because you are very skilled at that?
Okay. Managing adults is my least favorite part of my job by far, and I have 4 adults in my classroom, which is a lot. 4 women in a classroom, and it can get pretty chit-chatty. So I have meetings every Monday at 2 o'clock. And sometimes I pull from another class and ask if someone come in and rotate, or we'll just get some sensory out for the kids, but we need that time to kind of talk about behaviors, talk about what's going right, what's going wrong. If they have questions on positive behavior support plans, on token systems, on different things that we implement, we talk about it then. And I really try to make it a fun environment, but very clear what the expectations are. And every Sunday, I make up a list of things that need to get done during the week. So if there's any downtime, they know where to go. It's been pretty good.
And I think you've been very successful at that. You have done a tremendous amount of work on having a binder for each one of your students. They're very impressive, and I'd like you to go over with me how you think they worked, what's inside of them, and kind of give me an overall shot at what's going on with those binders.
Okay, so for each student I have a binder. The front is just their IEP goals in a snapshot. What I'm working on, their current benchmarks. So benchmarks would be due in 4 weeks. What do I need them to know in 4 weeks? Then when you open up the binder, I have a copy of their IEP and I have them divided up into math, language arts, social, and behavioral goals.
Okay.
So I take data across for each goal, and if they've made that goal, we move on to the next benchmark. This is for sight words, so I actually have the sight words in here.
Okay.
So I don't have to go search for them. There are pictures for who, what, doing type questions for comprehension, and I just move through like that, taking data across the board. Teaching paraprofessionals to take data is probably the trickiest part. It's easier for me to pull kids one-on-one, but I don't get as much data that way.
Okay.
So what I've done towards the second half of the year, which has changed, is just take particular students for a particular IA that I expect them to take data on once a week. And that's helped, so they don't have to learn how to take data across 10 students for each systematic instructional plan that I'm doing.
Now, do you have a communication log in here as well?
I do. So if I've communicated with the family, so just simple things. Some parents communicate by email, so I usually just print that out if it's something that I need to keep.
And that goes in here too?
It does, so I have that. This student's parents speak Spanish, so often there is written things, and I typically have our English language aide call to make sure I have all the information. So I'm really lucky. I do have a English language aide come in 3 times a week for 30 minutes, and usually,
Wow.
I know, so I can actually make lists for her and have her call parents if I need, because I have 2 families that only speak Spanish, and I don't have enough Spanish for that. So that's been great. So she can interpret, and I can write things down, and we can make meetings and just whatever they need. So, and then they actually have her phone number as well, so they can leave her a message. She's on campus 3 days a week, and she can let me know.
Okay.
Then they're more comfortable talking to her than leaving a message on my phone. So that's worked really well.
So will you be making any changes in this system at all, or are you pretty much happy with the way
I'm
it's going?
happy with it as now. I think
Okay.
in the beginning I was still struggling to try to get people to take data, to take it correctly. There were just too many kids, too many goals, people not understanding.
Right.
So if I give them 2 or 3 students,
then
it's very doable and they understand it, and
Okay.
that works well.
So given what you have learned about your students this year, what might you do differently next year at the beginning of the year to get you started in maybe a more efficient way? Anything?
I think the way I group the students would be a little different. In the beginning, I came into a class, a lot of the students had a really rough year last year, and when I came in, there were a lot of behaviors, and those had to get under control before any teaching could go on. So a lot of kids were grouped for behaviors. So if it was a group of 3, there would be one kid that had really tough behaviors, one kid that didn't have many at all. And really, once I get those down, I realize, well, the groupings aren't as great for them academically, but it would be nice to not have to start off with just grouping them for behavior's sake, so I can get right to the academics, hopefully.